Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Bianca Kurtzen with Constellation Consulting, and we are pleased to present the 2022 Summit on Health Equity. This summit is funded by the New Mexico Department of Health Nicotine Use and Prevention Control Program. For more information about the summit, please visit our website at nmhealthequity.org. For our session today, attendees' webcams and microphones have been disabled. If you have a question for today's presenters, you are able to use the Q&A function within Whova. We will also address as many questions as possible throughout at the end of the presentations. You may also be able to mute yourself at the end of the presentation and ask questions directly to the presenters. If you need assistance during this session, you could utilize the Q&A feature to talk to the organizers. You may also send us an email directly to info@constellationnm.com. Also, a quick reminder that this session is being recorded. All right, if you would like to request community health worker or social worker CEUs or continuing education credits, please include your name, email address on the evaluation at the end of the session. These CEU certificates will be emailed to you within 60 days of this summit. If you need assistance with the CEU process, please send us an email to info@constellationnm.com. Now, we are excited to welcome our next two presenters. We have Dr. Michelle Saenz-Adames and Diana O'Brien with Jardin de los Niños here in Las Cruces. Dr. Michelle Saenz-Adames is the Chief Executive Director of Jardin de los Niños. It is a non-for-profit organization that serves homeless, near homeless children and their families, and is a 5-star early childhood education program setting with a trauma-informed care center designation. Dr. Adames Saenz has spent 26 years working with children, families, educators, and administrators across the P20 education pipeline. Diana O'Brien is the Director of Development and Community Engagement of Jardin de los Niños. She oversees the Flourishing Families Parent Monitoring Program, which provides the opportunity for parents of Jardin to gain skills that support them both personally and professionally through a strong mentoring program experience. Additionally, she coordinates the Infant Mental Health Program. You could read their full bios for each presenter in our event app in the Whova platform. Please help me welcome Dr. Michelle Saenz-Adames and Diana O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Dr. Michelle Adames, and I'm the CEO at Jardin de los Niños. I've been with Jardin for approximately 4 years, and I am elated to be here today to share about our organization and the work that we're doing in the community with our community partners. And I'll turn it over to Diana.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Bianca stated, my name is Diana O'Brien, and I am the Director of Development and Community Engagement for Jardin de los Niños. Within my role, I am so fortunate to work closely with individuals and groups within our community to really further Jardin's mission. And I am very fortunate to oversee our Flourishing Families Parent Mentoring Program. As a licensed marriage and family therapist, I coordinate the Flourishing Families Infant Mental Health Program. And we are excited to be able to be here with you today to share about Jardin and our programming that serves to empower children and families through community collaboration and collective impact.
So this session will focus on our holistic and strengths-based approach in providing programs and services that support and elevate our children and families through collaborations, partnerships, and community relationships. A little bit about Jardin de los Niños. Our mission is to create new possibilities for homeless and near homeless children and their families through loving childcare education and the use of community resources. As we mentioned earlier, we are a nonprofit organization. We are located on the Community of Hope campus here in Las Cruces. We have a 5-star early childhood education program and serve children between the ages of 6 weeks to 10 years. And throughout our programming, we also serve the entire family, but on site, we serve 6 weeks to 10 years of age. We are designated as a trauma-informed care center by the New Mexico Association for Infant Mental Health. Jardin was founded in 1994 by a wonderful pair of nuns, Sister Beth Darillo and the late Sister Anna Walshmith. Sister Beth is still very much a part of our organization. She helps to support our mission. And both were very instrumental in launching Jardin de los Niños in 1995 when we opened our doors at Peace Lutheran Church on Missouri Avenue. We originally started with just 2 classrooms and have expanded our services throughout the years. So we've been able to stay strong for a little over 25 years now. We wanted to share a little bit about our core values. As you can see, these wonderful children just really brighten our days. We focus on flourishing our families, helping our families to flourish, the integrity that comes with the work that we do, igniting hope for our families. Community partnerships are at the core of what we do. And of course, the goal at the end of the work that we see ourselves doing is to really see the empowerment piece where we are able to collaborate with our families, empower our families, and gain that mutual respect. And at the end of it all, the mutual benefit that comes to both the organization and the families when we see their successes. Jardin de los Niños has an approach that is committed to providing a strengths-based, our approach is strengths-based. We serve as a safety net for the family, empower the family, and build on the strengths of the family. We really do focus on what is working for the family, and we want to make sure that we can expand what is already working in their lives to support them to be successful. All of the programs that are offered at Jardin de los Niños support the following goals. Our first goal is to advance the health, safety, and well-being of homeless, near homeless, and abused and neglected children. And our second goal is to strengthen and stabilize the family to quickly minimize the ill effects of homelessness on our children. Our children's services programs consist of the following. We focus on early childhood education, therapeutic intervention, and comprehensive services. Within our children's services programming, we have our 0 to 3 program. This supports the most vulnerable population, which are our infants and toddlers. And the goal of this program is to provide a strong foundation to support the well-being, health, age-appropriate developmental growth support, therapeutic interventions, and comprehensive services. Within this program, we see approximately 97% of our children who enroll in our programs often are receiving early intervention services. And so we want to make sure that we can connect them to the resources in the community so that we can support their early development and age-appropriate developmental growth, which often they come to us lacking. We also have our early pre-K and pre-K programming, which is funded through the New Mexico ECECD. And this program focuses on early learning opportunities. The end goal is to prepare our children for school readiness. And through experiential learning and interactive activities, social emotional learning, educational programming, we often have field trips for the children. We focus on the milestones that they are able to reach throughout their programming. And at the end of their programming, we want to make sure that they are prepared to enter kindergarten and that they can continue to thrive. We also have an after-school, summer, and school-age program. And this program supports the children who are enrolled in our K through 5 setting. And so we have approximately 3 to 4 elementary schools who feed into our after-school summer and school-age program. We do provide transportation to this program, so we're able to pick the children up at school and also return them back to wherever they are residing at the moment. We do provide supplemental learning activities, experiential learning, and many enrichment activities, which Deanna will talk a little bit more about when she discusses our volunteer program. But the students receive one-on-one academic and social emotional learning. Right here, we wanted to share with you a little bit about our journey as we experienced COVID-19 when in the initial stages of us, being at home and working together as a team to make sure that our children continued to thrive, the learning still continued. As you can see, all of these activities with the children are the enrichment activities that we would send home. Throughout the time that we were at home, we also took advantage of the training that we were able to acquire so that our center could be designated as a trauma-informed care center. And as you can see, we also had to make many adaptations to the daily operations. You can see Deanna taking temperatures of our staff. Unfortunately, we've become pros at it. And it's one of the things that we've continued to keep as part of our operations so that we can remain open and we can serve the children. And then in the middle, you can also see that we have volunteers and donors who didn't want to leave us, behind, and they made sure to still stay in touch with us throughout the pandemic to support our mission. These are all of the wonderful activities that took place. As you can see, the children were very much engaged in technology that helped to support our learning, especially because we couldn't always be in the same room. And so a lot of the work that was done was, unfortunately, we were able to utilize the technology, but the kids had to, be apart from each other at times. We did still celebrate our Olympics, which is a summer event that takes place for our children who are rising up to kindergarten. And then we also have all of the enrichment activities on the bottom right-hand corner. Our children's services coordinator made sure to get all of the activities ready to send home. We had food boxes that we sent home. And that middle picture with our star student and our teacher is one of the moments where we realized how important it was to have technology infused in our programming because we had all of the school-age children housed at the center when they were all still on remote learning. And so we were able to designate a teacher to focus on the school-age children and make sure that they didn't miss any of the work that was being done in their respective schools. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Deanna, who's going to talk a little bit about our family services and other programming.
So as we've stated at Jardin, all of our programming and services are really founded in supporting and elevating the whole family from a responsive and strengths-based approach. We provide wraparound services, case management, access to community resources, transportation, support with applications for services, referrals to other agencies, and opportunities for work experience for our families. We consistently assess the needs of our children and families so that we can be responsive in developing our programs and services, and in order to meet the needs of the children and families we serve, so that we can empower them and enhance their support system through connection with community resources. Today, we're going to highlight a few of these programs. Our community health programming provides access to medical and health services in our on-site mobile pediatric clinic. Our children receive 2 daily wellness checks by Jardin staff. Then through partnerships with community organizations, institutions of higher education, including New Mexico State University, Doña Ana Community College, and Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine, and numerous volunteers, Our children and families receive direct on-site access to hearing, vision, and dental screenings and annual well child exams. We are so fortunate to have a close partnership with Amador Health Center and be in close proximity to them as they are located right next door to us on the Community of Hope campus. Not only do they support our annual wellness exams, our children and families also have direct access to care through them. Another vital program we have in place is the Anti-Hunger and Wellness Program, and you just saw some photos that really exhibit that program. While our children are at Jardin during the day, they receive breakfast, lunch, and snack prepared by our wonderful chef. And in order to decrease food insecurity for our children and families, in addition to having an emergency food pantry on site, we also provide food baskets to our children and families. We have most recently transitioned to doubling the food baskets in size and distributing them bi-weekly in order for families to be able to plan ahead in budgeting and meal prepping. Our family services and community health coordinator and our parent liaison shop for food, and we also receive items through our partnership with Casa de Peregrinos, another one of our Community of Hope partners. Each basket includes nutritious meals and fresh produce and is made with consideration of family size, allergies, and means. We want to ensure that the families are able to prepare the food that's included within the baskets. We also provide additional food over long weekends and holidays. And through our internship program, we include family engagement activities, and our chef creates menus that are also included within the food baskets to increase and empower our families through family engagement, to increase family engagement and empower our families. We have seen many positive outcomes through our anti-hunger and wellness program. Jardin has seen an increase in attendance. Parents and families have provided positive feedback regarding the support that receiving the food basket provides for their family. And teachers have noted positive outcomes within the classroom setting, as we know that having access to nutritious meals supports healthy growth and brain development. And these are some of the photos that really kind of highlight some of the programs that I was just able to share with you, including our community health programs and our family engagement activities and events. At Jardin, we strive to empower families and provide them with new opportunities in order for them to feel supported in setting and achieving their goals. As stated earlier, within my role, I am fortunate to oversee our Flourishing Families Parent Mentoring Program, or as we refer to it as the FFPMP. The mission of the FFPMP is to foster a support network that elevates the families of Jardin de los Niños from a holistic, strengths-based approach so that they will see their full potential through mentoring, career exploration, and a growth mindset. And the goal of the program is for the mentors who are members of the community and mentees, our Jardin parents, to have the opportunity to grow together, learn from one another in a reciprocal relationship, and ultimately have a positive impact on one another's lives. We have graduated 2 cohorts of mentors and mentees, with the most recent cohort graduating in October of 2021. Our hope is for our parent mentees to be able to strengthen their safety net and support network, not just during the program, but in spending 8 months to 1 year together. We hope that the pairs are able to create a strong foundation that allows them to remain connected beyond the completion of the program. And we're happy to say that we've been able to witness that continued support of one another from our first 2 cohorts. Today, we'll be providing a quick overview of the program. In our program, we utilize a framework that helps to create the space for the mentees and mentors to explore the individual needs and aspirations of each mentee, and provides a tool for mentees to ask questions of the mentor and to learn from what the mentor shares of their experiences in each of these areas. So while there's clear expectations outlined in the program for each participant, the journey for each participant is really individualized. The format of the program asks that each pair participates in whole group and one-on-one mentoring meetings, at least 1 mentoring circle, and at least 1 mentoring circle. Additionally, the mentees and mentors also complete a virtual or face-to-face outreach event, which allows them to engage in public speaking to prepare for the culmination of the program, which is a poster session that is open to the community. These meetings and events are meant to support the mentee in working towards their goals and in gaining skills, and allows for the mentor to bring the mentee into their network. So for example, a small mentoring circle could include the mentor's colleagues or the pair might complete an outreach event at a meeting of an organization that the mentor is a part of. Whole group meetings foster an environment for participants to network and get to know one another, furthering building that support network. A mentor shared with me that she feels we've created the space within our meetings for each person to feel fully supported and learn from one another, which I think is a really important component of the program. The second cohort had the opportunity to participate in a listening session with 2 city councilors as part of a whole group meeting. The FFPMP has a clear focus on professional and career development, which includes creating or updating their resumes and cover letters and other items that they feel are relevant to their needs, such as completing mock interviews. During the final event, which is the poster session, each pair shares with various attendees from the community what they learned, gained, and were able to achieve throughout the program, as well as their plans for the future. I would like to note that participants receive a voucher to La Tienda de Jardin, which is Jardin's thrift store, in order to obtain attire for the poster session and job interviews. Participants also receive a certificate of achievement at the poster session and a stipend for completion of the program. The pride that they exhibit when receiving this is evident, and mentees have also noted this achievement in applying for other jobs and programs. And then on this slide, the first photo that we have here was taken during the first cohort's orientation. The mentee presented this photo on her poster and shared that she felt very nervous at the beginning of the program. She had never had the experience of meeting and networking in a setting like this. And so she stated that her body language really showed how nervous she was. As time went on, and with the support of her mentor in Jardin, she shared that her comfortability and confidence grew, and she became really excited about exploring her career goals and aspirations. The middle photo is of her mentoring circle. The mentee was interested in learning about photography and exploring the idea of starting her own business. So her mentor brought in 2 local photographers to share about their path to starting their photography business. And what was really amazing about this mentoring circle is that the photographers had never considered building this mentorship piece into their business. And so after this mentoring circle, they became really excited to be able to include this in part of their business model. So everyone here was really able to walk away with something to help them grow. And then this final picture is of our wonderful mentee and her mentor sharing their experience at their poster session. Attendees were able to hear about and applaud her achievements. And it was a very empowering moment for our staff who had been able to work alongside our parent in creating a foundation and support system that allowed her to fully participate in the program. We have built into the program several components that allow us to measure growth and collect data while also allowing participants to engage in self-reflection throughout their journey in the program. These include pre and post expectation surveys, pre, midpoint, and post self-assessments that we will discuss today, and an interest survey to help the pairs in getting to know one another. Within the program, self-assessments are completed by each participant at orientation, the midpoint, and after the poster session. Within the self-assessment, we are asking each person to reflect on their comfortability and confidence. These assessments include questions such as, how comfortable are you in speaking in front of a large group of people? And how confident do you feel during a job interview? We then compile the data, and the mentees include this data within their poster presentations. This is a version of the graph that I create for the mentees and mentors to present this data. For the purpose of the poster session, each pair presents the mentees' data points, and here we're actually looking at the averages of the second cohort of mentees and specifically looking at the averages of their pre and post self-assessments. For assessing comfortability, we use a Likert scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being very uncomfortable and 5 being very comfortable. The largest area of growth was in response to the question, how comfortable are you with speaking in front of a large group of people? Here, the average of the group went from a 3.4 to a 5. And as you can see, after the completion of the program, we saw an increase in averages across each area of assessing comfortability. We also saw positive outcomes in assessing their levels of confidence, which was self-assessed on a scale from 1 to 5, with 1 being not confident at all and 5 being very confident. In regard to their confidence levels during the job interview, the average of the group went from a 3.4 to a 4.8, and we saw an increase from 4.4 to 5 in regard to their confidence in being able to achieve their goals. It was important for the mentees to be given the opportunity to present this data as part of their self-reflection and growth. Doing so allowed them to have a better understanding of themselves, their experience, and provided them the opportunity to assess and understand data. Our first cohort saw an 85% completion rate, and this shows the data on our second cohort in which we saw an 83% completion rate of all participants. Each cohort graduated 10 pairs or 5 pairs of mentors and mentees, so a total of 10 graduates. What has been the most rewarding part of this experience is being able to bear witness to and hear each mentee and mentor share their accomplishments and skills that they gained throughout their journey in this program. These are a few of the achievements of our first and second cohort of participants. Some mentees gained employment, another obtained their driver's license, a participant was able to design and create a business card and expand their business. Another family increased family engagement in their home by beginning a self-care routine with their children. And in completing the program and expectations, the participants gain a plethora of skills. These are some of the skills as noted by the participants: networking, mentoring, goal setting, public speaking, communication, time management, and so much more. I'd also like to highlight that we were about halfway through the first year of the program when the pandemic hit. During this time, our focus shifted as our priority is always to ensure that our children and families have access to all of the things that they need to thrive. And we wanted to be mindful of our mentors' needs. We first addressed all immediate needs of all of our families at Jardin. The mentors were also very supportive of their mentees during this time and reached out to provide additional support. Once we ensured our families were stabilized, we provided technology so that our mentors and mentees could continue to work together. This included Jardin providing technology, and then I also provided technology education for how to use various devices and programs in order for everyone to stay connected. And as a result, we found that, and this is probably true for all of us, everyone's technology skills significantly increased. During the session, we would also like to let you hear from 2 of our parents who were also participants in the first cohort of the FFPMP. And to do that, there's 2 videos that we'd like to share.
Jardin de los Niños helped me to achieve my professional and personal goals by providing me the time to go out and look for the resources to do so. If I wouldn't have had Jardin as childcare to watch Verity, I wouldn't have had any time to go out and start taking the reins when it comes to the responsibilities I had of taking care of Verity. The Career Link program helped me find interviews for what sort of a career that I was interested in. I wanted to be like a secretary or a front desk receptionist, and that's exactly where I landed. To have Verity in Jardin, in the classrooms, participating, learning, and growing, she flourished. It was beautiful. I'm not trying to say that Jardin is better than any other daycare, but it's the best. She had such a positive attitude, and she would come home saying words that I didn't teach her, that it was the teachers working with her. And one of my favorite things about Verity attending Jardin is that she would come home all the time with little arts and crafts. Like, my favorite is, it's a handprint and it says P for pineapple. And I have it on my fridge. It's my favorite one. One of the main ways that Jardin supported me through some of the challenges that I faced while being homeless and looking for work was food boxes. Food boxes was a big thing. It was a little bit difficult to try to meal plan and stuff like that, and they would make these boxes that were prepped ready to go, like chicken fajitas or, you know, tacos or whatever it was. It was very awesome. To be a participant in the Flourishing Families program, it was like an achievement. It was like one of my greatest achievements. Going into the program, at first I didn't think that it was something for me because I had so many challenges like time. I didn't have a vehicle, I didn't have a way to get places, so I relied on public transportation to get everywhere. So I didn't think that adding another responsibility on everything that I was trying to do was going to work out. But I ended up just fighting my fear and going for it, and at the end of it all, I really learned a lot about myself and where I wanted to be professionally and how to reach those goals. One of my largest goals was to get a car for the first time. and I was just shy, literally like $500. And so there is an anonymous donor that when you have a goal that you are working towards, they will supply that sort of support for you. And they were one of the main reasons that I was able to achieve that goal. That financial support meant to me the world, because at the time I was relying on public transportation to get around. So on top of working the hours that I had, I was leaving my house at 6 in the morning so I could get on the bus, go to the job. So I was able to start providing more financially for my daughter on my own. The biggest takeaway that I've had from Jardin is that I can do anything. I am capable of anything.
Thank you, everyone. To ensure that you all can see the video, I'm going to optimize screen sharing.
When I first came to Jardin, I was homeless, staying with my relatives, my sisters, and I found out about Jardin. Jardin just helped me a lot while my kids, when I was working, they would stay here, like childcare. It's just been very helpful. They have helped with clothes, shoes. At that time, my income was very, very limited. It was very low, and I couldn't afford those things, and Jardin helped with stuff like that. When the pandemic hit, I became homeless again. I found a small place to stay for a few months. So Jardin helped me with furniture, beds for the kids, blankets. There was someone helping me. There was someone I could reach out for support, and it made me feel good. I'm gonna start crying now. I'm sorry, it was very hard. When I first came to Jardin, I was trying to start a business as a housekeeper. That's when I was in the mentoring program. That helped so much. Jacqueline, my mentor, she helped me, she supported me very much. We did like this communication skills and stuff, and so she helped me with my job, actually, with my clients and everything. I got a lot of recommendations and clients from that. I remember when I came in here with just the little flyer, just asking for help, see if I could put it up. With the help of Jardin, my mentor, it started growing, and now it's really good. My income has been way much better than it was at the beginning, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of it now. Jardin means a lot. Jardin means home. Jardin means support. It's family, really. They care so much. They help. I don't know what we would have done without the help of Jardin. I mean, my girls love it here, and I love it too. What I am most proud of is that I've grown. I've accomplished so many things. I have a home now. I have a home, and that's what I'm most proud of.
Every time I watch these videos, I feel immense gratitude. Our parents are truly resilient and inspiring, and they are continuing to achieve wonderful things. Among some recent accomplishments of some of our FFPMP alumni, one recently obtained a job with one of our community partners, and another one will be graduating from Doña Ana County Community College this month. We're excited to plan for our third cohort of participants and our future plans of growing the program. We hope to have some of our parent mentees come back to serve as mentors in the future. Jardin's programming also encompasses the Flourishing Families Infant Mental Health Program. We know that children who experience homelessness have a greater likelihood of experiencing trauma. In striving to provide a strong and nurturing environment for our children and families to develop socially and emotionally and to mitigate the impacts of trauma, we continue to enhance our mental health programming. As stated earlier, we are designated as a trauma-informed care center by the New Mexico Association for Infant Mental Health. In order to receive this designation, staff must maintain endorsement through NM2022SHE. This requires that the majority of our staff receives ongoing training that focuses on trauma-informed care, family engagement, health and safety, and other diverse designated areas of competency. Additionally, our staff utilizes the Conscious Discipline Curriculum, which is a trauma-informed, transformational, social and emotional learning classroom management curriculum that focuses on strengthening the relationships between children and adults and supports family engagement. A large component of the infant mental health program is our partnership with Families and Youth Innovations Plus. Through this partnership, Jardin houses a licensed social worker on site in our pediatric mobile clinic, and we also work with several other clinicians through FYI Plus so that our families have access to receive on-site individual therapy in conjunction with family therapy in our pediatric clinic and play therapy rooms. These photos are from our 2021 ribbon cutting, in which Jardin became designated as a trauma-informed care center. So this was a very exciting day for us, and we were really grateful for the support of our community and being able to celebrate this accomplishment. Through all of our programs, we have been able to continue to enhance and adapt our volunteer programs to meet the needs of the children and families, even with the challenges brought upon by COVID-19. In 2020, we shifted to a virtual volunteer program. Our volunteers now include virtual volunteers and limited in-person volunteers who support our educational programs, family services, and operations. Individuals, organizations, and groups all serve in furthering our mission through volunteerism. These photos highlight our first virtual volunteer prepping our students for Zoom classes in 2020. So she helped prepare all of our children that were elementary aged as they completed their Zoom classes for their public school classrooms within our elementary age school classroom at Jardin. And they became very tech savvy, and it was really beautiful to witness their growth and then the support of that volunteer in helping them get there. And the photo on the right is of Miss Callie, who has been volunteering with Jardin for almost 20 years. She is a true part of the Jardin family. The children create pottery with Miss Callie, and they get to visit her pottery studio every spring. They just took their 2022 field trip last week. So we're really excited to have numerous volunteers that support our programs and our mission. In 2019, we experienced a logo and website redesign and launched our interactive fundraising platform. All of this continues to be maintained and enhanced so that we can best connect with our community. Our online platform actually allows our donors and community partners to connect with others within their networks to advocate for our children and families. And so a lot of our community partnerships are actually enhanced by this platform, as it allows our community partners to tell their stories and to share their missions while also connecting with Jardin and supporting our programs and services. We continuously work to share the mission of Jardin and grow our donor relations and reconnect with donors. Many of our donors support specific needs of Jardin, such as our Homeless Prevention Fund, which you saw in those videos. We recognize and are incredibly grateful for each person and community partner that gives of themselves through donation, time, or effort to further our mission. These individuals and groups ultimately become our biggest advocates, which further empowers our children and families. And I'm now going to pass it back to Dr. Adames as she will be sharing about our thrift store, La Tienda de Jardin.
Thank you, Diana. As mentioned earlier, La Tienda de Jardin is part of Jardin's organization, in that La Tienda serves as a unique boutique offering previously loved clothing, jewelry, home decor, art, and collectibles for sale to the public. All of the donations that come in through La Tienda help to support Jardin's programs and services. And so as we look to support our programs, we remind folks that anytime that they're considering donations and they're considering where they want to support the community, they can definitely donate to La Tienda, because it's not only do our parents have the opportunity to shop, but we also support other community partners when their families have job interviews, or perhaps they're, trying to engage in any kind of new job and they're needing new clothing to support them. Then we offer vouchers so that other community partners can help their families to prepare for a new job opportunity. The unique piece of La Tienda de Jardin is that we have one store employee, a store manager, and two high school students who support the operations. And so essentially 2 paid employees is what it comes down to. And the store is actually run by approximately 20 to 30 volunteers. I will say that COVID-19, the pandemic, really did impact our operations, in that many of our volunteers are still considering coming back, because they do fear, unfortunately, the interfacing with the community is a little bit more challenging for some of our volunteers who are wanting to make sure that they don't compromise their health, or if they do have health that immune systems that are compromised, they want to make sure that they're protected. So we are actively seeking volunteers here in Las Cruces who are interested in supporting the operations, and we are consistently reaching out to the community for support with donations. So I'll go to the next slide. Thank you. And one of the things that we always want to make sure of is that we want to be able to connect with you. We want to connect with the community and make sure the community becomes a part of our mission. We know that the community serves as the best ambassadors for sharing the mission of Jardin. And we recognize that without our community, it's very difficult for us to carry out all of the programming and the enrichment activities. And we know that there is so much talent in the community. And so we're always consistently reaching out to the community to welcome new talent. If you have a project that you are interested in engaging in, it's always something that is going to impact our children in a positive way. And we know that access to resources is going to open the doors for our children and families. So we ask that anyone who's interested might consider becoming a volunteer, consider donations if you're interested in starting a campaign to share your mission as well as the mission of Jardin. It definitely is a mutual benefit for all of us. Consider becoming a board member down the road. Consider becoming an ambassador for Jardin. Sharing our mission is one of the ways that we are able to serve our children and families at a greater extent. And it's really important to us that the community is aware of the services that we provide so that they can refer families as well, should you come across a family who might benefit from our services. It's really important that we also recognize those funders and donors who support the work that we are able to accomplish. A large part of what we do is granted to us through federal, state, and local funding, but we also have some private foundations that support us. and of course, our generous donors who support our mission. Some include New Mexico Early Childhood Education and Care Department, or the ECECD, Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Mexico, the City of Las Cruces, the Community Foundation of Southern New Mexico, the Lineberry Foundation, Western Sky Community Care, the Devastali Foundation, New Mexico Oil and Gas, United Way of Southwest New Mexico, and the Advancing Social Equity Initiative through Aprendamos and Able Covarrubias. We did want to include our contact information in hopes that you will consider visiting our website, sending us an email, or contacting us via telephone. We are always open for giving tours. We either do tours virtually, which Deanna and I think have mastered at this point, or, we are now at a point where we are able to welcome folks into our center where we can also provide tours in person. So we hope that you will connect with us and consider becoming an ambassador for our organization. And we hope that we can also in return do the same for you, so that we can make a greater impact in our community. So thank you so much for having us here today, for the support that you give to our community. And we stand for questions now at this point. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you both so much. Thank you for all the time and your expertise that you're able to share with us. So for the audience, just a quick reminder, you are able to submit your questions through the Q&A app in the Whova platform. So ladies, I'm gonna just, there's a few in the chat, so I'm gonna go off right now based off of this. Does Jardin only serve children and families locally?
So currently, Jardin is located on the Community of Hope campus. We serve the Las Cruces proper, so we don't, although we do support families in the county, Doñana County, on site, we are only able to serve the families who are within a 10-mile radius of our organization.
Thank you.
We do work closely, Bianca. I just want to, in adding to what Michelle said, we also work closely in community partnership to serve outside of that. So if there's ever a family that is outside of that 10-mile radius, we collectively really ensure that they're connected with resources that are available to them.
Thank you, Deanna.
And just to add to that, many of our families are often referred to us through the Las Cruces Public Schools, through the Community of Hope campus partners, as well as the Gospel Rescue Mission and La Casa. So that's where the majority of our referrals will be coming from.
Thank you. Next question. Do you all utilize CHWs or community health workers in your work? And if so, what is their role?
Go ahead, Deanna, I'll let you answer that.
So we actually work very closely, especially through our internship program, with community health workers and in our partnerships. So a lot of the programming that we discussed on site, we have a family services and community health coordinator. Her and I oversee interns from the public health sector or other sectors that come in, family and child science, social work. And so we have a lot of partnerships that way, in which we have on-site community health workers. And then again, through our partnerships, we are so fortunate, I would say throughout the state, that we do a really good job of building those partnerships. And so a lot of the services we discussed today are through those relationships.
Great, thank you. Next question. What is the translation of Jardin de los Niños? I might have missed that before it started. Thank you.
So it translates to the children's garden.
And there's a really beautiful story from our founder, Sister Beth, that Dr. Adames and I love, in which she shares that she really envisioned this as a place in New Mexico near our river. And that's truly where it came from. And then obviously in our mission, helping children and families flourish, that's really how our name came to be.
Thank you so much. Next question. What kind of donations are accepted?
Well, we actually have over the course of the pandemic have really had to reassess, throughout the pandemic what our immediate needs are, as well as, we have a running list of items that we consistently keep up to date, depending on the season. Throughout the year, the seasons change. And so at any given moment, we may need donations to support a family who may have just joined the organization, and we are starting with nothing. So we may be looking for donations to just start from the ground up to support the family. We may be looking for donations to support specifically if many of our children are lacking, shoes, or maybe they need jackets, or if we're needing for our enrichment activities, maybe we need some supplies that we need to send home to the families. So at any given moment, it just really depends on the season, as well as the needs of the families that have just arrived or that we're supporting. And so it's really hard to say that what it really is consistently, because it really does change, and it's dependent upon the families that we enroll, daily and throughout the month. But what we do recommend is that if you can call our front desk, and they will then connect you to Deanna, who maintains that list, and she will interface with the community to kind of prepare a list that matches what the donor might be interested in donating, as well as what the needs are of the families and the children and families, and within the classroom setting.
Yes, I want to thank whoever asked that question. That question is the most important way you can advocate for us, or any organization. Asking how, what do you need? How can I help is a really great thing to ask. And as Michelle stated, that can change at any given moment. Most recently, we have a family who obtained housing. So right now our needs are to help fill that house. And so again, it can change overnight, and we're so thankful that someone asked that. And again, that's a great way to advocate for nonprofits.
Thank you. So one more question / comment. As you probably know, lead exposure is an environmental and social justice issue. Childhood lead exposure can cause developmental delays, behavioral issues, physical ailments, loss of IQ, and other problems. Can I share some health materials with your organization to give to parents and breastfeeding and pregnant parents to be, if you don't already have some?
Absolutely.
And this was from Rebecca Whitaker.
Thank you, Rebecca. We would love to receive any materials that you would like to share with our families. As we mentioned earlier, we do have our anti-hunger and wellness program, which is our food baskets that go out every other week. And within those baskets, this is a great opportunity for us to also share resources with our families. So we often put that type of material in those food baskets so that our families will be able to read up on some of the information that's available through our community partners. So feel free to contact us. You can either send it through the info@jardinlc.org, or you can, if you're in Las Cruces, you can stop by Jardin and share it with us. But we most definitely will share that information with our families. So
yes,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for offering to do that, Rebecca, and anyone who's here with us today. Again, as Dr. Lama stated, we are happy to collaborate and to be able to support one another in helping to educate and empower our families.
So Deanna and Michelle, just a few more comments. Just Paul Ward says, thank you. R. Yazzie says, excellent information and services provided by your program. Thank you for your presentation. The videos were powerful. Thank you to the families who allow us to view their stories. Mariana Salcido says, I had no idea this program even existed. Glad I attended and ready to use your services. So any other questions from our audience on the other end? You're able to unmute yourself. We have just a couple more minutes if anybody else wanted to ask any other questions. While I wait for that, I'm going to share just a few more reminders with the group. So any of the material, well, our presentation actually will be viewed and shared on Whova for at least the next month. We also we'll be posting them on our website, nmhealthequity.org. Quick reminder to please complete the evaluations, as that's how we are able to track and link your CEUs back to you. Any other questions? I think that's all that came through. But thank you so much, both of you, for taking the time to sharing this wonderful program with us. We really appreciate your time and your efforts. Everyone else, please remember to check the dashboard for more information about tomorrow's session. We'll be discussing housing. We'll have Diane Yentel from the National Low Income Housing Coalition and Martha Escudero. So without further ado, thank you so much, and everybody have a great afternoon.